It is 7:30 on Sunday morning, and it is time for yoga for recovery talk. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes to see who shows up. And then we'll get started. Hi, pretty kitty. Here. My cat's name is Princess, and she very much is a princess, but she never stops talking. Ever. If you're here with me waiting for a moment, feel free to just take some deep breaths. Get yourself set for a moment. This morning we're not going to do a meditation for this class. We're just going to talk a little bit. And then I do have the 8 o'clock morning movement that will move a little more and get a little more into it. So yesterday we talked a little bit about ahimsa. There's the philosophy or the limb of non-harming. So I just wanted to suggest this book for anybody who's starting to follow along with me as far as the recovery, or anybody who wants to learn about the 8 limbs of yoga. I know it's going to be backwards, but it's called The 8 Limbs of Yoga, a handbook for living yoga philosophy. This is a really nice, simple read. It just kind of explains what the limbs are and what that means. And then if there's anyone who wants like a talk based just on that, if you don't want to get the book or something like that, you can always let me know and we can maybe do a class. But so the yamas is the first limb, and in that limb there are 5 parts. So think of like 5 little mini shoots off of this first limb. And ahimsa is the first one. And the yamas are restrictions that you place on yourself. And so ahimsa yesterday of non-harming or non-violence, that's the first one. And we're just going to go in order for the next few days or whatever. I don't know, just because why not? So the second one for today is satya. And satya is truthfulness or non-lying. So it's restraint from lying to others, lying to yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you spew out everything that comes to your mouth or to your mind without a filter. It's just about saying things non-intentionally. That's what I'm trying to say. Not intentionally misleading people, right? So there's a little, I don't know what it is, saying, right? That you'll say words that are true, kind, and necessary. So that's the idea of this, right? Like, is it true, is it kind, and is it necessary? So some things might be true, but they're certainly not necessary, right? So that comes in that place of your filter of like, what do I need to say? But in recovery, it takes this other little, or in addiction, it takes this other little path of the things that a lot more of the way that we lie to ourselves than we lie to others. We do lie to others because we end up in situations we don't want to be in and don't want to tell anyone about, for one. But a lot of it has to do with the way we tell lies that we tell ourselves. So, if you're with me this morning and you have, or have had an addiction or are suffering from something like that, I'm just going to read a few sentences And I'd like you to take a moment and sit. You can sit with your eyes closed just for the sake of limiting your distractions. Sit with your eyes closed. And as I read these sentences, just notice if they resonate anywhere with you. Sometimes when you hear something that you know is not true, you get this little feeling in your gut, right? And your body is like, no, that's not true, because you know what the truth is, right? And there's also this whole nother talk, but brain and gut connection, right, of neurons and communications that happen, right? So you hear something, your brain hears it, and then your body's like, oh my God, right? What bad news? Oh my God, good news, yay! So when you hear something that's a lie, your body has a reaction to it. You may or may not, notice for every single one. But I just want you to pay attention to how you feel in your body when I say these sentences. So close your eyes or soften your gaze. Let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through your mouth. Just clear away the morning energy so far. In and out. And one more. In and out. All right. I'm not hurting anyone. This is my problem. Feel free to repeat these in your mind, either in your mind or out loud to yourself, and see how it feels with the words coming out. I'm fine. I don't have an addiction. It's not going to get out of control. It's just because I'm stressed. No one else understands. I don't need to change anything. I'm not hurting anyone. Sit with those thoughts for a second. How does that make you feel? To me, each one of those that I read, I can immediately think of the truth that comes with that, right? I'm not hurting anyone. Well, that's not true. Definitely not true. Family, friends, myself. It's not going to get out of control. Ha, 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 ha. Every damn time. It's just because I'm stressed. That's a good one, right? Because then when you're in a good mood, and you're like, oh, I can go out, I can drink, I can whatever, I'm in a good mood today. Then you go out, and then the shit hits the fan. Because it doesn't matter if you're in a good mood or not. It really has nothing to do with that. I don't have an addiction, or I don't have a problem. That's one a lot of people that don't even know they have a problem like to say. This is my problem. Well, we all know that's not true, right? Because people worry about each other, and things that we do, good and bad, affect people around us, and in turn affect people we don't even know, right? Because there's this like chain of events that happen. So if I choose to do something harmful, that harms or hurts someone else that I know, then they carry that with them. Now I've put that on them. They carry that to someone else they know. So just with that alone, you cannot say that it's only your problem. So as far as this practice of yoga goes, and using that, I'd like you to think about and meditate on, maybe pick one of these sentences. And maybe you repeat it to yourself a couple of times, figure out what that means, figure out how it feels to you. And then find the opposite of that. Oh, okay, here we go. And use it almost like a chant, if you will, to really bring it out. So like you could say, if you're working on your addiction, instead of I'm not hurting anyone, my addiction is hurting those around me. And you repeat that to yourself. My addiction is hurting those around me. Visualize what's happening. I know it's not a light, fluffy thing. It's a dark sort of space, but you need to visit those spaces in order to get this out. Like I said, I'm not an addiction counselor. I'm not a doctor. This is what works for me. And for me, seeing what's happening, don't put yourself in a place of shame, but you have to recognize what's happening. You have to be able to say, this is what's going on. I'm causing this problem, whatever, and sit with that before you can fix it. That's what I think. I'm fine is a good one. Just repeat to yourself, I'm not fine, 100 times. See what happens there. Because you're not. You will be. You're not. And everything is always okay, by the way. Through the whole process, everything is always okay. Your homework for today is this. I'm going to start calling these homeworks healing exercises. Because that's what I want them to be. I want them to be something where you can write stuff down, look at how your brain works, look at how you identify with things. So today's healing exercise is going to look like this. You're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to divide it into 3 sections. Your top section is true and kind. Your middle section is true and constructive. Your bottom section is untrue and unkind, or unconstructive. And I'd like you to fill it in with, 4 or 5 more if you have time, things here to say about yourself. So like true and kind, I would say, I'm a good dancer. Right? That's true. And it's nice to myself. That's great. True and constructive. I can be addicted to outcomes just the same as substances. I can want, in that case, I can want something to happen and poke 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 until I get what I want. Or don't get what I want. But when I don't get what I want, I fall apart. So let's think about that. That's for me. What is yours? Untrue and unkind. I don't deserve to have peace of mind for the things that I've done. Not true and not nice. So those are things I want you to work on today. Look, I get a little froggy. I want you to work on that today. It's hard, and it's going to take you maybe into some places that you don't want to be, but that's okay. It's okay to get down to the funkiness. It's okay to be real. And it's okay to share. If any of this comes up for you and you decide that you're like, I don't know how to deal with these thoughts, a lot of times just getting them out there and talking is the way you do it. So let me know how you feel. Join me tomorrow. We'll work on the next little bit. And again, that book is called The 8 Limbs of Yoga, a handbook for living yoga philosophy. It's really, really good. It's just, like I said, a really nice, easy way for you to kind of read through what we're talking about. And then you can, and this is not like a business thing for me. I like this book. You can kind of develop your own way of using it if you'd like. But anyway, that's our activity for today. That's our thought for today. Be kind to yourself when going through these exercises. Take yourself on the trip through the dark places, but please don't stay there. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.